What's up, everybody? Adam here. Thank y'all for listening to me for a few minutes. Look, I have been saying that we are witnessing the Alabamafication of America. So every day as we see the Trump administration do something that makes you go, what the fuck is the point of that? What good can possibly come of that? Doesn't that seem wrong? Doesn't that seem illegal, possibly? I'm sitting over here in the hard Dixie going, yep, that tracks. People cheering for things being cut that actually benefits them or benefits people they know and love or might possibly benefit them because they have been led to believe that those things are corrupt. Corrupt from what? I don't know. And corrupt only from the left is what they are led to believe. That anything that Donald Trump or Elon Musk says is corrupt is only because of the left. The right is never at fault. But people who call themselves pro-life, being against things that help people who are alive, not giving a damn until it directly affects them. Like farmers voting for Trump, then are like, oh no, and their subsidies are cut. And we're kind of seeing that right now with the NIH cuts here in Alabama. In Birmingham, Alabama, we have UAB, the University of Alabama at Birmingham, and UAB Hospital, which is a amazing, I think it might be the biggest employer in the state, and they do amazing research. They are famous for everything they do, and these NIH cuts will hurt them significantly. I read one estimate said they will 50% will be lost. So I saw one that said 70%. I saw one that said $70 million. I'm not sure. I just know that it's going to be a huge number and it's going to affect cancer research, childhood cancer research, birth defect research, heart disease research, all these good things. And that will lead to the loss of jobs in the state where that is the number one employer. That is just a sad story. And it's weird that Alabama's okay with this happening, because Alabama does anything for jobs. Our state government will do whatever it takes to coax jobs, to talk businesses into coming here. We have given out close to $5 billion in tax breaks to lure jobs to come here. Yet we lag behind in every other metric, healthcare, all these things. And we give these businesses all these humongous tax breaks to come here, and then we just pass the burden of the tax along to the working man who is able to get those jobs that we have lured here with those tax breaks. And it's just crazy how people are like, we should cut these things because it's all waste and it's all corrupt. But we're talking about cancer research. We're talking about heart disease. We're talking about good things. And we are just wanting to throw it away because some New York City millionaire and his South African friend said that it is. And a judge actually blocked the NIH grants today nationwide. Originally, the judge had only blocked the NIH cuts in states where the attorney generals had filed suit against them. And of course, Alabama was not one of those states. Our amazing Attorney General, Steve Marshall, was not one of the attorney generals who filed suit to stop these cuts, because in Alabama, if you go against Trump, you are nothing. You have to stand with Trump 100%, because if you don't, you turn into Liz Cheney. But like I said, people do not care until it directly affects them. Everybody's like, oh, we need to cut all this stuff. All the MAGA people in Congress, all the MAGA people nationwide are like, we need to cut all this stuff. Who cares? I don't care if children die from cancer. It better not be taken out of my tax money. I know that's extreme, but that's really what they sound like. If they said that, I would be like, yeah, that tracks. But now that it is hitting home here in Alabama, now we have Katie Britt, our Stepford wife of a senator, but she's not going against Trump, but she's saying she will work with Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to ensure that we are able to continue to move forward, and that these cuts will not affect us as bad as they should, because we should be able to see here what it says. We do not need to hinder life-saving, groundbreaking research at high-achieving institutions like those in Alabama. Well, Miss Ma'am, just call it what it is. Just say, don't do this shit, because this is bullshit. And then Gary Palmer, who is a representative from Alabama, and I saw a video today of him coming out and saying, well, it's so funny watching these conservatives try to sidestep, try to go against Trump while not really going against Trump. Because in the video he said, the president needs to realize that you have to go through Congress. You have to go through Congress. You can't just do it. He was just trying to be like, please don't cancel me, Donald Trump. Please don't cancel me. I just don't know where we're going to go from here. We are sliding down a slippery slope of what the fuck. And I don't know where this is going to end, and I don't know what we can even do about it at this point, because MAGA is just gleeful at the thought of burning this country to the motherfucking ground. They will probably be in the comments of this video laughing at me. And it's like, dude, you are contributing to the demise of this country. I don't know how you cannot see that. I don't know how you cannot see that you've been brainwashed, led to believe that these rich folks give a fuck about you, that you are willing to hurt others for what, I don't know. People have told me what we need to do is we need to get a Democrat to run as a Republican in Republican areas, because they'll win, and then they can go back to being a Democrat. Because we have seen that in recent years with Republicans doing that, winning on the Democratic ticket, and then immediately after they win, swapping parties to the Republican Party. And I wished you could do that, but it don't work. It's rules for thee, not for me, when it comes to MAGA, because you saw what happened to Liz Cheney. Do you know how horrible it made me feel in my soul to be on the same side as a motherfucking Cheney during this last election cycle? She voted with Trump 91% of the time when she was in Congress. But the one time she went against him, they kicked her out of the damn party. And you think it could work in Alabama, a Democrat becoming a Republican and then going right back to being a Democrat, because half of the MAGA people in office right now in Alabama used to be Democrats, our governor, our attorney general, my state senator. And that's what I want to talk about. My state senator, in the 2022 midterms, my state senator, Gerald Allen, had a challenger named Trip Powell. This is his picture. It really don't matter what he looked like, because nobody knows who he is, and I'm fixing to tell you why. But the Alabama Republican Party had passed a rule that said, pull it up right here. It said, a rule that allows the removal of Republican candidates who publicly participated in the primary election of another political party or publicly supported a nominee of another political party if they held public office as a Republican at the time. Now, in 2022, Trip Powell was running against Gerald Allen in the Republican primary for the Alabama State Senate. And it came out that in 2018, Trip Powell gave $500 to his childhood friend who was running for office as a Democrat. He gave that money to his childhood friend in the Democrat primary. Now, Trip Powell was not in office at the time. He was not running for office. He was just donating money to a childhood friend in the Democratic primary, not in the actual election. He said that he voted for Republican in the election, just he gave some money to his friend in the primary. And because of that, the Alabama Republican Party, the Alabama GOP, kicked him off the ballot. They said, oh no, you can't do that. You're no Republican. What the fuck? And the funniest thing about that is rules for thee, not for me. Because the leader of the Alabama Republican Party at the time was this man, John Wall. Now, you know how conservatives, MAGA, are all up in arms about voter ID. I know people in Alabama are. John Wall is. John Wall voted in multiple elections with a homemade ID. A homemade ID that he made on a printer. But he is all about voter ID. And the last time he did it, the poll worker was confused and he asked him about it, and the poll worker actually emailed the state election board wanting clarification on the rules. Now, this poll worker was also a conservative and who was also all about voter ID. He actually said the reason he volunteered as a poll worker was because of his belief in the voter ID law. So when he saw this homemade ID, he was like, this ain't right. So he let him vote, but he emailed the state election board to get clarification. And what happened? He was removed as a poll worker. Rules for thee, not for me. That is the Alabama way. And as we continue to go through this Alabamafication of America, it will be that way for everyone.